My friend used my photos to catfish people for free dates, and I found out when a stranger called me by her fake name in public. The first time I got that weird feeling, it was so small I almost ignored it. I was standing in line at a coffee shop near my job, half awake, staring at the pastry case like it was going to solve my entire life. When a guy behind me said, "Hey, Hannah?" I turned around on reflex, because when someone says a name in a question like that, your brain thinks it might be you. Even if it's not your name. I looked at him. He looked at me like he'd just seen a ghost. "Oh my God," he said, smiling like we were friends. "It is you." "I'm sorry," I said. "I think you have me confused with someone else." His smile faltered. "No, you're Hannah. We matched last week. You said you liked oat milk lattes, remember?" I stared at him. "My name's not Hannah." He blinked hard like he was buffering. Then he pulled his phone out, unlocked it, and held it up. On his screen was a dating profile with photos of me. Not "kinda looks like me." Not a blurry resemblance. Me. My face. My hair. Photos from my Instagram. A picture I recognized from a friend's birthday dinner where I wore a green dress. A selfie I posted in my car 2 months ago. Even one of my just got my nails done pictures. The name on the profile was Hannah. The bio was weirdly accurate and weirdly not. It said things I did like coffee and spicy food, but it also said, "I'm low-key obsessed with tall men in suits," which is not something I've ever typed in my life. It had that tone people do online when they're trying to sound flirty and casual at the same time. The guy looked from his phone to my face again. "Okay," he said slowly. "So, what is this?" My throat went dry. "I have no idea." He scrolled. "We've been talking for days." I felt my stomach drop. "What app is that?" He said the app name, and I didn't use it. I'd never even downloaded it. He looked more confused than angry, which almost made it worse. Confusion means he believed it. He believed he'd been talking to me. He kept scrolling and his face changed, like he hit something embarrassing. Then he said, "Quiet now. You asked me for a screenshot of my schedule." My heart started pounding. "Why?" He hesitated. "You said you wanted to plan a date when my girlfriend wasn't around." I froze. "I don't have a girlfriend," he added quickly. "I told you that. And then you said it was a joke and you like messing with people." My skin went cold. Because that wasn't just someone borrowing my photos to flirt. That was someone using my face to be messy in a way that could get me slapped in public by the wrong person. I looked at the guy and forced myself to keep my voice steady. "Can you show me the messages?" He nodded and held the phone closer. I read the conversation fast, scanning like my eyes were trying to outrun my brain. The Hannah account had been doing a lot. It wasn't just flirting. It was testing boundaries. It was trying to stir drama. It was asking questions that sounded like someone collecting information. "Where do you work? What bars do you go to? Do you live alone? What's your Instagram again? Send me a picture right now. I want to know you're real." And then there were voice notes. My stomach flipped when I saw that. "Did she send you voice notes?" I asked. He nodded. "Yeah, like, a lot." I felt dizzy. "Can you play one?" He tapped a voice note and held it up. A woman's voice filled the air, low and playful. It wasn't me, but here's the part that made my stomach drop even harder. I recognized it. It was my friend Alyssa. I didn't recognize it like, "Oh, maybe." I recognized it like, I've listened to her complain about her boss for 40 minutes in my passenger seat. I've heard her laugh in the next room. I've heard her drunk at midnight. I know her voice. My hands went numb. The guy watched my face like he was trying to read the answer off it. "Do you know who it is?" I swallowed. "I think I do." He pulled the phone back, looked at the profile, then at me again. "So you're telling me someone's using your pictures?" "Yes." "And using their own voice," he said. "Yes." He exhaled hard and rubbed his forehead. "That is insane." I felt my face getting hot, not because I was embarrassed, but because my brain was running through the last year like a detective. Alyssa and I had been friends since college. We weren't childhood friends, but close enough that she was in my apartment without knocking. Close enough that she knew my passcode because I told her once in a joking way and never changed it. Close enough that she had access to my Instagram and could scroll through everything. Alyssa was also the type of friend who lived online, always posting, always stalking exes, always investigating people. She treated social media like a video game where the prize was attention and control. I had always found it kind of exhausting, but I also told myself it wasn't my business. Now it was. The guy cleared his throat. "I'm sorry," he said, and he sounded genuinely sorry. "I didn't mean to, accuse you." "You didn't," I said quickly. You thought you recognized me." He nodded and started backing away a little, like he didn't want to be involved anymore. "Can you do me a favor?" I asked. He paused. "What?" "Can you send me screenshots?" I said. "Of the profile and the messages. I need proof." He hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, okay." We swapped numbers. He sent the screenshots while we stood there awkwardly by the coffee counter like it was normal to be exchanging evidence of impersonation before 9 a.m. Before he left, he said, "Just be careful. Whoever's doing that is messy." I forced a small smile. "Yeah, I'm learning that." The second he walked out, I stood there with my coffee order forgotten, staring at my phone. My first instinct was to call Alyssa immediately and explode. My second instinct was to stay calm and confirm. Because if I accused her and she denied it, she could delete everything and I'd look crazy. So I did the thing I hate doing. I played it cool. I went to work. I sat at my desk. I answered emails like a normal adult while my brain screamed in the background. During lunch, I opened my Instagram and scrolled through my followers. Alyssa had liked one of my photos from the night before. A normal like, a normal comment. "Pretty." I stared at her comment and felt sick, because she was complimenting the same face she was using to catfish strangers. I checked my tags, my old posts, everything public. And then the thought hit me. If she was using my photos, she probably wasn't only using them on that app. So I typed my name into a search engine along with my city. Nothing. I searched my Instagram handle. Nothing obvious. Then I searched the fake name, Hannah plus my city. And that's where the weirdness started. I found a public Instagram profile named Hannah, with one photo. A picture of me. The bio said something like, "Living for good vibes and bad decisions." The followers were mostly men I didn't know and a couple women who looked like real people, not bots. The account had comments on the photo like, "Hey beautiful," and DM me. I clicked the followers list, and my heart dropped. Alyssa was following it. Not just following, she was the only mutual I had with it. I sat there in the office break room staring at the screen, feeling this calm anger settle over me. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't an accident. It was organized. I didn't confront her yet. Instead, I waited for her to slip. Because people like Alyssa always slip. They get comfortable. They get cocky. That evening, she called me like nothing was wrong. "Hey," she said cheerful. "You want to go out Friday? I'm bored." I held the phone to my ear and stared at my wall. "Sure," I said, keeping my voice normal. "Where?" "I don't know," she said. "Somewhere with cute guys. I need a distraction." "A distraction from what?" I asked. She laughed. "Life?" Then she said something that made my stomach tighten. "Also," she added, "if a random guy ever says he knows you, just ignore him. Men are weird." My blood went cold. I didn't react. I forced a laugh like she'd told a harmless joke. "What do you mean?" I asked light. "I just mean," she said quickly. "Some guys are creepy. They think they know you." "Okay," I said, still calm. "That's random." She laughed again. "I'm just saying." Then she changed the subject. When we hung up, I sat there in silence for a long time. Because that one line told me everything. She knew I would run into someone, which meant she'd been using my face in my city, not just online in a random bubble. This wasn't just catfishing. It was local, which meant the chances of real-world consequences weren't hypothetical. They were coming. Friday night, we met up. Alyssa showed up looking perfect, like she always did when she was hunting for attention. Hair done, makeup sharp, outfit curated like she'd planned it for a photo, not a night out. She hugged me and said, "You look cute." I smiled like everything was fine. We went to a bar downtown, loud music, dim lighting, crowded in the way that makes everyone feel more attractive because nobody can see details. Alyssa was instantly in her zone, talking to strangers, laughing too loud, touching arms, doing the whole performance of being the fun girl. I watched her for about 20 minutes, and the longer I watched, the more obvious it felt. She didn't just like attention, she needed it. And when attention wasn't enough, she manufactured it. At some point, she went to the bathroom, leaving her phone on the table. I didn't want to go through her phone. I hated the idea of it. But then I thought about the voice note, the profile, my photos, the way she warned me casually. So I picked up her phone. It was unlocked. Of course it was. I opened her recently used apps. There it was. The dating app. The one the guy showed me. My heart started pounding. I clicked it. The account was logged in. The profile photo was my face. The name was Hannah, and the inbox was full. So full, it made my stomach drop again. Dozens of conversations, some flirty, some angry, some confused, some men asking why Hannah disappeared after they sent money for gas. Money. I felt sick. She wasn't just getting free dinners, she was asking for money too. I scrolled fast, hands shaking, and saw something even worse. There were messages from women who had found Hannah through men, women accusing Hannah of sending inappropriate messages to their boyfriends, women threatening to fight. And Alyssa, using my face, was replying like she loved it, not apologizing, stirring it, saying things like, if he wanted you, he wouldn't be in my inbox. I felt dizzy. Then I saw a conversation that made my skin go cold. A man asking for a location. Hannah, replying with the name of my apartment building. My apartment building. Not just my neighborhood. Not downtown. My actual building. The messages were from 2 weeks ago. I stared at the screen like it might change. Alyssa came back from the bathroom. I set her phone down exactly where it was, hands shaking so badly I had to grip the edge of the table. She sat down, smiling. What did I miss? I looked at her and suddenly felt like I was looking at a stranger wearing my friend's face. I'm tired, I said. Alyssa frowned. Already. It's early. I have a headache, I lied. She rolled her eyes. Okay, Grandma, fine. On the way out, she kept trying to pull me into conversations with random men, like she was trying to use me as social proof. Tell him you're single, she whispered at one point. I just stared at her. She laughed like I was being dramatic. In the car, she said, You've been weird all night. I kept my voice calm. Have I? Yeah, she said. You're quiet. I didn't answer. She sighed, annoyed. Are you mad at me? I wanted to say, You used my face to ruin strangers' relationships and put my address into a message thread. Instead, I said, No. Because I wanted the confrontation to happen in a place where she couldn't spin it as me being emotional in public. When I got home, I locked my door and sat on my couch, staring at the screenshots on my phone. I had enough proof now. Screenshots from the guy, screenshots from the public Instagram, and what I saw on her phone, even though I didn't capture it because I was too shaky. I knew how Alyssa would respond. She'd deny, then she'd minimize. Then she'd blame me for snooping or overreacting. So I made a plan. The next day, I texted her like everything was normal. Me. Can you come over tonight? I need to talk. She replied instantly. Alyssa. OMG, what happened? Me. Nothing bad. I just want to talk in person. Alyssa. Okay, ominous. What time? When she showed up, she came in smiling, holding a drink like it was a casual hangout. Okay, she said, plopping onto my couch. What's up? I sat across from her and held my phone in my hand. A guy called me Hannah this week, I said. Alyssa's smile didn't move, but her eyes flickered. What? She said. At a coffee shop, I continued. He showed me a dating profile with my face on it. Named Hannah. Alyssa blinked slowly. Okay. And? And the voice notes on the profile were your voice, I said. Silence. For a second, she didn't even pretend. She just stared at me like her brain was calculating. Then she laughed. Not a genuine laugh. A panic laugh. You're insane, she said. I nodded once. So you're denying it? Alyssa leaned forward, eyes sharp. Yes. Because that's crazy. Why would I do that? I held my phone up and played the voice note the guy had sent me. Alyssa's voice filled my living room. Her face changed. The laugh died immediately. She swallowed. That could be anyone. I stared at her. Alyssa. She shook her head fast. No. You're trying to blame me for something because you're paranoid. I felt the anger rise, but I kept my voice low. Why did you tell me if a random guy says he knows me, I should ignore him? Alyssa paused. Then she said too quickly, Because men are weird. Because you knew. I said. She rolled her eyes hard. Okay, fine. I might have made a profile, like once, as a joke. My stomach turned. A joke? Yeah, she said, defensive now. It was just for fun. I wasn't, doing anything. I opened my phone and showed her the screenshot of the profile the guy took. Then I showed her the public Instagram account with my photo. Then I showed her the screenshot of the message where Hannah used my apartment building name. Her face went pale. Okay, she said, voice tight. You went through my phone. I blinked. That's your defense. Alyssa pointed at me. That's an invasion. You used my identity, I snapped, and the calm finally cracked. You used my face, my photos. You gave out my building name. Alyssa shot up from the couch like she was offended. It wasn't like that. How is it? I demanded. How is it? She threw her hands up. I needed to talk to people without them being weird. So use your own face, I said. They're rude to me, she snapped. Men are rude. They're shallow. They don't respond, but they respond to you. I stared at her. That was the real truth. Not that she did it for a prank. She did it because my face got her attention. She kept going, voice rising. You have it easy. People are nice to you. People want you. And you act like you don't even care. My stomach twisted. So you used me. Alyssa looked furious now, like she was the victim. I wasn't hurting you. You were, I said, and my voice shook. You put me in danger. You made women think I was flirting with their boyfriends. You asked men for money. You used my building name. I never gave your address, she snapped. Yes, you did, I said, and I showed her the screenshot again. Right there. She stared at it. Her mouth tightened. Then she did something I didn't expect. She started crying. Not quiet tears, loud tears, the kind that fill a room and demand comfort. I'm going through so much, she sobbed. You're supposed to be my friend. I sat there frozen, because I knew this move. Alyssa cried when she was cornered. Alyssa cried to turn the heat into sympathy. I didn't move. She looked up through tears and said, You're being cold. I nodded. I'm being safe. Alyssa's face hardened instantly, like the tears shut off. Oh, she said. So you're going to act like I'm a criminal. You did something criminal, I said. You impersonated me. Alyssa scoffed. Nobody got hurt. I stared at her. The guy thought I was telling him to cheat. Women messaged me. People are looking for Hannah. Someone could show up at my building. Alyssa crossed her arms. Okay, but that's not my fault. That's just people being crazy. My hands started shaking again. Delete it. I did, she said quickly. I didn't believe her. Show me. Alyssa's eyes narrowed. No. I laughed once, bitter. So you didn't delete it. She snapped. I'm not showing you my phone. I leaned forward. Alyssa, you used my face to do this. You don't get privacy here. Alyssa grabbed her bag. You're overreacting. Delete it, I repeated, right now, in front of me. She pointed at me, voice shaking with anger. You think you're so perfect? I stared at her. I think you're dangerous. That word landed. Alyssa went still. Then she said, low and venomous, Okay, good luck, because you can't prove anything. And she walked out. The second the door shut, my body went cold. Because she was right in one way. Proving it in a legal sense would be hard unless I had access to her devices. But I did have proof. I had screenshots of the profile and messages. I had the voice note. I had the public Instagram. I had the guy who matched with Hannah as a witness. So that night, I filed an impersonation report through the app's support and through the social media platform. Then, I did the part that felt dramatic but necessary. I posted a story on my Instagram. Not a rant, just a plain statement. Someone is using my photos on dating apps and social media under the name Hannah. That is not me. If you see it, please report it. I didn't name Alyssa. I didn't want a war. I just wanted to protect myself. Within an hour, people started DMing me, not OMG messages, specific messages. One girl sent me a screenshot and said, Is this you? Because she messaged my boyfriend. Another girl said, I thought it was you on that app. I'm sorry. A guy sent a screenshot and said, This profile asked me for gas money. It was bigger than I realized. Alyssa hadn't done this once. She'd been running it. And the worst part was, a few messages included details that made my stomach drop. She said she lives in your building. She said she hangs out at this bar near you. She said she works at the same place you do. She had been building a fake life using my real landmarks. The next morning, I got a message from an unknown number. "Hey Hannah, why'd you block me?" My throat went dry. I replied once, carefully. "This is not Hannah. Stop texting me." They replied, "Nice try. You literally sent me voice notes." I didn't respond again. I blocked the number. Then I got another unknown number. Same thing. Then another. It was like whack-a-mole. People thought they had access to me because Alyssa had created that access. That's when I finally did what I didn't want to do. I went to the police station, not expecting them to kick down Alyssa's door, just to create a record. The officer I spoke to listened, nodded, and said the thing I already knew. Impersonation and fraud can be hard to pursue unless there's financial harm or direct threats, he said. I asked, "So, what do I do?" He said, "Document everything, report every profile, lock down your accounts, and if anyone shows up at your home, call immediately." I left feeling both validated and irritated, because it's a weird feeling to be told, "Yeah, this is bad, but good luck." Over the next week, the platforms took some accounts down, but Alyssa didn't disappear. She just shifted. She started telling people her version first. Mutual friends started texting me. "Why are you attacking Alyssa? She said you accused her of something crazy. She said you're trying to ruin her reputation." I didn't even have the energy to argue, so I sent one screenshot, just one. The voice note, the profile. Most people stopped replying after that, because evidence has a way of killing gossip. Alyssa, however, doubled down. She posted vague tweets about fake friends and jealousy and people who think they're better than you. And then she did the final, nastiest thing. She posted a selfie, not of me, of herself, with a caption like, "Starting over, being real." And in the comments, she replied to someone who asked what happened. She wrote, "Someone tried to accuse me of being a catfish because she can't stand not being the center of attention." Reading that made my hands shake with anger. Not because it was mean, because it was ridiculous. She had used my literal face, and she was calling me attention-seeking for reacting. That's when I decided I was done being polite. I didn't post a long explanation. I posted one screenshot to my close friends list. The message where Hannah used my building name. And I wrote, "This is why I cut contact. Please stop entertaining her narrative." That was it. After that, the pressure shifted. People stopped forwarding Alyssa's post to me. They stopped asking me to be the bigger person. Because it became obvious what bigger person meant. It meant, shut up so the messy person doesn't face consequences. 2 months later, I got the strangest closure. I was at the grocery store, pushing a cart, when a woman walked up to me fast. She looked furious. She said, "Are you Hannah?" My stomach dropped again. "No," I said immediately. "I'm not. I know why you're asking. Someone used my photos." The woman stared at me, eyes narrowed. "My husband has been talking to you." "I'm telling you right now," I said, keeping my voice low because people were looking. "I have never spoken to him. I have proof someone impersonated me." She hesitated. "He has voice notes." I nodded. "That voice isn't me. It's my former friend. I can show you." I showed her the statement I posted in a screenshot. I played the voice note. Her face changed when she heard it, like she recognized that it wasn't me. She swallowed and said, quieter, "So, she was using your face?" "Yes," I said, "and your husband's not the only one." The woman's anger deflated into something exhausted. She said, "I'm sorry." And for a second I felt bad for her, because she had walked up ready to confront the other woman, and the other woman didn't exist. It was just my face on someone else's chaos. She walked away, and I stood there with my groceries shaking. That was the real consequence. Not Alyssa losing a friend, not her getting embarrassed. It was my face becoming a problem in strangers' lives because she used it like a tool. I changed my routines after that. I made my Instagram private. I removed old posts that showed identifiable locations. I stopped tagging bars. I changed my profile picture to something less easily cropped. I set my account so people couldn't DM me unless they followed me. It felt unfair, like I was doing extra work because Alyssa couldn't control herself. But I also felt safer. Alyssa tried reaching out once, months later. She messaged me from a new account. I miss you. I wish you handled it differently. I stared at it for a long time. Then I blocked it without replying. Because there are some things you don't handle differently. You don't negotiate with someone who used your identity for attention and money. You don't comfort someone who put you at risk and then called you dramatic for noticing. And the weirdest part is, I learned a lesson I didn't expect. Some friendships don't end because you had a fight. They end because you finally see what role you were playing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. I wasn't Alyssa's friend. I was her mask. And the moment I refused to be worn anymore, she tried to make me the villain. That's fine. I'd rather be the villain in her story than the face in her scam.